Can you see me?
Hello and welcome to Etty's Kitchen. Today we are going to be making a simple lemon cake. It's going to be easy to put together, something you can just put together when you come back or when you have visitors and you just want something to serve them. So it's going to be a very quick and easy one. And if you are coming across my channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button, like and share so that whenever I upload a video like this, you will be the first to know. Before we proceed, I'd like to introduce you to the ingredients. Here we have our flour. I've already measured and sieved out, and it's 2 cups of flour, sugar, 1 1/4 cup of sugar. I don't want the cake to be too sweet. And then we have our butter, which is 250 grams. We're going to be using 4 eggs, medium size eggs, and of course the main ingredients, which is lemon. I've gotten out some of the lemon zest, but I'm just going to show you how. So I just got my lemon, washed it very well, and then I used the small side of the grater to grate it out. Make sure that when you are doing your lemon, you don't grate the white part because it's bitter and you don't want your cake to be bitter. You just want to have that nice lemon flavor. So you just go gently with it when you grate it out. So that's that. Just be careful to make sure that you don't grate the white parts, otherwise you're going to end up with a bitter cake. So that's that. Oof, we have enough. And we are going to be baking in the bread pan, just something to snack on. But first, we are going to put on our oven, and then we'll preheat the oven and prepare our pan before we continue with mixing the cake. Okay, so to prepare our pan, we're just going to take some of the butter, apply it generously so that it's a non-stick pan, but you just want to be on the safe side so that it doesn't stick. The cake does not stick when you try to bring it out. Just rub the butter, and then you dust it with a little bit of flour, and then you are good to go. You can also use a parchment paper. Usually I will use that, but at the moment I'm out of the parchment paper, so I'm just going to do the flouring method. Set that aside, and then we're going to proceed with mixing the batter for the cake. Start with our butter. The butter was in the fridge. I took it out and left it to come to room temperature. You don't want to bake with cold ingredients, otherwise you won't have a good texture. The cake will not have a good texture. So you want your ingredients to come to room temperature before you start baking. Okay. Let's put the egg aside. We are going to beat the butter until it's a little bit light, and then we'll add the sugar and we'll mix it until it's light and fluffy. So I've been mixing the cake for the batter for about 4 minutes now. Now if you can see how light and fluffy it is. Very light and fluffy. And now we're going to add in our eggs one after the other and beat until we have a nice consistency. But before then, we're going to go in with our lemon zest. Very important, so that it's well incorporated into the butter. You want to feel the richness of I said before, we're going to be using 4 eggs. And you want to put your eggs one after the other, because one bad egg can spoil your whole batter. So you want to put the eggs one after the other to be sure that you don't put in bad eggs and spoil all the work that you've done. Put that in and beat. I will put that one after the other until we've put in all the 4 eggs. Have a lovely batter. Can you see that? To look as if it's coagulating, but don't worry. When you put in the flour, it's going to come together. And because we don't want our cake to be hard, we're just going to fold it in using the spatula, and then we can mix it with the mixer just a little bit. And here I have a 1/3 cup of milk. I'm going to alternate it with the flour. So I'll start with the flour, put in a little bit of it, and then just fold it in. You want to just fold it in because you don't want your cake to become like bread. You want a nice soft texture, so you don't want to go too hard on the flour. You just want to a little bit of milk, fold it in, little bit of the flour. You don't want to put too much at once so that you don't overwork the flour. And just fold it in neatly. Put in the last bit of the milk and fold it in. And the last bit of the flour. And just fold it in gently so that you don't end up with a hard cake. It's time to put our beautiful batter into the bowl and straight into our preheated oven. The oven has been heating on 180 degrees centigrade. So I'm just going to gently put that into the bowl, to the baking tin, and then straight into the oven. You see, I told you it was going to be very easy to put the batter together. Very, very easy. You can do it when you have visitors, you know, those sudden visitors that show up unannounced, and yet you have to entertain them. While they are at the lounge, you can just rush into the kitchen and put this together for them. Now our cake is ready to go into the oven. And when I was mentioning the ingredients, I think I forgot to mention that the baking powder was already in the flour. I had to put it in the flour so I can sieve it together. to make sure that the baking powder is even. You don't want to be eating your cake and then you are chewing baking powder in a particular place, and then it doesn't taste well in the mouth. So you want to make sure you sieve your baking powder with the flour to make sure that it's evenly spread into the flour. Now before you put the cake in the oven, you want to give it a little tap. Sorry, it's going to be a bit noisy. Just to make sure that you take out all the air bubbles. When you cut your cake, you won't be seeing all those big holes in the middle. So let's put the cake in the oven, and then we will check after 25 to 30 minutes. See you in 25 minutes. Okay guys, while we wait for our cake to get ready in the oven, we're going to prepare some nice lemon drizzle that we're going to drizzle over the cake. Remember the lemon that we use? I hope you didn't throw yours away. I'm just going to use half of it to prepare a nice drizzle for our cake. I'm just going to use half of that. The lemon is very juicy, so I won't be using all. I'm going to get about a tablespoon of it from the 1/2. That will be enough. But if we need more, we will go for it. But I think we'll be fine with just one. With just the half. Okay. I'm going to take the seed out of it. Dry my spoon, and then I'm going to add in about 3 tablespoons of icing sugar into it. I think we have a very nice consistency now to go onto our cake when it comes out from the oven. So I'm just going to set that aside while we wait for our cake to get ready. Okay, it's been about 35 minutes now. Let's check our cake and see how it's doing. See? Oh, beautiful. Cake is ready. Can you see? It's all ready. You need to be here to perceive the aroma in the house. Alright. We're going to leave the cake to cool down for about 5 minutes, and then we'll transfer it to the cooling rack, and then we'll put our glaze that we've prepared earlier. Alright, our cake has cooled down a little bit. Just going to use the knife, run it by the sides just in case. Then put it on the cooling rack. It's cool down. Ooh, that's lovely. Let's put it upside down. The cake is super moist. It's still hot, so have to handle it with care, otherwise it might just break apart. I'm going to put some drizzle. So I'm just going to put it on the paper towel. And I apply the drizzle. Put some finishing. There we go. try the recipe. I can actually perceive it. The cake is really still hot, so I'm just going to let it cool down, and then I will give it a slap with a nice cup of tea, and that's going to serve as my dinner. Welcome back. So our cake has cooled down. I'm going to cut and see what it looks like inside. Trust me, it's still tender. It's lovely. Can you see? Very nice and soft, very moist. We're going to taste that. Let's see how that goes. I've made myself a nice cup of tea, and I also made some whipped cream for some extra topping. You can skip this if you don't want. The cake is rich enough with the lemon drizzle, so you don't need this if you don't want it. You can just skip it. But I want some extra topping, so let's dig it in. Goodness. The flavor of the lemon is rich, not too sweet. The cream has cut down on the sugar. If you're the type that doesn't like sweet cakes, I promise you will like this one. Try it and let me know what you think about the recipe. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.